Alright. Calm down. Whew. It's not really an episode. I don't feel like singing. I just feel like doing something. And in this recording, I said I want to talk about security. Before I talk about security, there's something else that I would like to comment on, because I've been seeing that in a lot of people and I don't really fucking get that. It makes me a little angry that everybody always has to label themselves. It's that childlike, I'm a hunter, I'm this, I'm whatever. And I've been watching The Lord of Flies, like a very early version of the movie from the, late 1900s, I don't fucking give a shit. It was like in black and white, it was quite artistic. I quite liked the way it was made. And yeah, there was a lot of violence and a lot of insecurity because there were no adults that gave people security. Now, the way I see it, the people that call themselves spiritual these days, they're just little children playing around. It's like we're all stranded on an island, and now the market wants people to be spiritual, and then you have a lot of smart girls that think, oh, I'm spiritual, so, I'm gonna give myself a name, yeah? I'm gonna really label myself as something. I'm gonna quit my job, and I'm gonna pay a lot of money to do some kind of training, yeah? And so that I can give myself a name. It's just the same shit everybody else is doing, don't you get that? People study to have a doctor's degree. Yeah, and maybe you didn't have the balls to study, or the stamina, or you never believed in yourself. And so what happened? Now you ended up doing other things. Yeah, because you feel mediocre. And now you go out there and you do some kind of schooling. Yeah, you're being trained as some kind of practitioner by people who have no idea what they are doing, who are simply just following instructions from people, that told it to them. And then you start giving yourself a name. You say, I'm a healer. Do you know? Do you have any idea how many years it takes to become a healer? Do you think you would ever be a healer? Do you think you should call yourself a healer? No, I don't think so. I think the people call you a healer when you healed them. But now you think you've done some kind of training and you can call yourself a healer. Sorry, but there are so many people out there who just want to be so great. And then they call themselves, I'm a manifester, I'm a healer, I'm a blah blah blah, I'm a spiritual practitioner, I'm a psychonaut. Why do you have to give yourself names like that? It makes no sense. Just feel who you are and stop talking so much about it. I don't really give a crap if you're on Instagram and you say, I'm this, I'm that. You know what I say? I say I'm a content creator, because that's what I do. I create content. I don't go about saying I'm a healer or I'm a shaman. And there's a reason why I don't do that. And the reason is because, even if I would help somebody on their way, I cannot say that I healed them, because they have to heal themselves. A healer doesn't heal anybody. He just brings the person to a place where they can heal themselves, because they felt like they needed somebody to heal them. And then they think that person healed them, but in the end it was they. They started believing in themselves. Because there was another person, they suddenly started to believe that they can heal. But that doesn't make you a healer. That just makes you somebody who assists people on their journey. So, like the word healer, I mean, that's just so outrageous to call yourself that. I mean, no wonder nobody takes spirituality serious these days. Because nobody is serious about it. They just want the happy stuff. They don't want to sit around and suffer and feel shit and figure it out for themselves. No, they want to go and they want to pay for something. Yeah, they want to go and pay for a course. And then they can have a certificate and that says, oh, now you're this. And then they say, oh, I'm a healer. Oh yeah, good job. You know. Give me 10 minutes with you and I'm gonna show you that you're not. You know, that ultimately everybody heals themselves. It's just the question of whether or not you allow yourself to heal or not. And whether or not you believe in your own abilities. I believe you don't really need anybody. You could do all of this on your own if you just started believing in yourself. And that's why, you know, whatever security is, you know, it's just holding on to stuff. You know, calling yourself a healer, calling yourself a practitioner, calling yourself, I don't know, whatever, a chef, a master cook, a master chess player. It's just something that gives you security in your little world. It's just something where you feel, oh, I can set myself apart a little bit from other people. But do you know what that is in the end? It's just words. Yeah? So just leave it to others to label you. Because they're gonna have all kinds of labels for you anyway. They're gonna ask you, oh, what are you? You know, it's like asking somebody, oh, what race is that dog? You know, I don't give a fuck. It's a dog, it's a being. I'm spending time with her. You know, we're walking each other. You know, that's the general concept that people should understand. You know, walking each other home. Death is home in that sense, because that's where you came from. I mean, you were dead before you arrived here. And then you're going back to death. You see, I listened to people who knew what they were talking about. But they didn't go around calling themselves healers or anything. You know, it's just humble yourself a little and stop calling yourself all these things. Right? It's not... You know, it's not the young kid that goes around and says, no, I'm gonna be a shaman, or I'm a shaman. No. The shaman proves to the village that he has certain abilities by showing these abilities. And then the shaman who is in charge already comes along and says, hey, you have certain abilities, I want to train you. Or maybe the parents say maybe he's material to be a shaman because they recognize it in him. And then he's being brought to the shaman and he's going to train that kid. You know, that's how it's generally done. The kid doesn't say, I'm a shaman. No. And the shaman doesn't say, you know, so the shaman didn't start saying I'm a shaman. The people said it. Because the shaman as a kid proved himself worthy of becoming a shaman. They started training him. And when the previous shaman dies, then there's a new shaman. But it's the people that call the shaman the shaman. The shaman doesn't think of himself as a shaman, he just recognizes his role as the shaman. And then he plays it accordingly because he has certain abilities. Yeah, and because he likes doing what he's doing and he's good at it, he takes responsibility for that as well, so that he's doing, you know, whatever a good job is. And that in a sense gives each other security. But why do you have to call yourself a shaman? You know, I sometimes call myself a shaman. Why? Because when I read about what shamans do, I recognize that I'm doing that. But I'm doing it already. You see, I'm doing that already. A lot of people, they call themselves things, but they actually do nothing with it. You know, they just paid money and now they have a certificate and now they think my life is gonna change and I'm gonna be some kind of I don't know what. That's not how it is. It's not how it is at all. You have to prove yourself worthy to the people. And when you do that, they will start to recognize you. And when they start to recognize you, you know, they will have these names for you. But you already have to know what you are and who you are without saying, I am that. You know, people call themselves all so many things because they want a piece of greatness. Because they're greedy assholes. You know, these people should never heal anybody. Because the only thing that it'll get them is, you know, they're gonna heal somebody or think they healed somebody. And then they're gonna think, oh, I heal people, you know, I'm really important. And that's exactly the reason why I'm not a fan of these words like spirituality, healers, whatever. Yeah? So, it's about humbling yourself. And what is security? It's just holding on. Security is fear. Yeah? You're trying to secure a certain state in yourself or in your surroundings, yeah? And you are willing to do that by force, yeah? And if you call yourself a healer, and I come to you and I prove to you that you're not a healer because you haven't even managed to heal yourself, then you're gonna get angry at me, and that's just gonna prove my point. Because if you don't manage to heal yourself, how can you call yourself a healer? You know, if you want a loving relationship with another being, but you don't manage to manifest that, how can you call yourself a healer? If you don't even manage to do the one thing that you want in this life, which is maybe being a mother. Like, you don't even manage to be a mother. But you go around calling yourself a healer. Like, giving birth is a form of transformation and healing. So, nobody is a healer. But he can prove that he can heal himself. You know, that's how you heal yourself. So yeah, in a sense, sure, go call yourself a healer. But that's just like setting expectations with people and they think, oh, you know, what's this person? What can this person do? Why can't you just stop calling yourself names? That's what I think, you know. You know, I don't want to be a healer, but I can heal myself. Because I know what I need when I need it, and then I give myself to that. And I also realize, you know, when I want security, I go home and I sit in that room. You know? But then I go outside. And that's a bit insecure, because I don't know what's going to happen. Is a plane going to crash into me? Well, a plane could crash into me while I'm at home. So in the end, it doesn't matter, you know? So calling yourself a healer or looking for security is the same thing. It's just bullshit, you know, it's just something you think you can hold on to that makes you feel a bit better. But it's not the truth, because the reason you need these things probably shows that you actually feel quite shit. And you actually want people, you know, you want to be a healer, then be a healer, but don't call yourself a healer. Just be a healer. Heal yourself. And when you've done that enough, you radiate what you want to be. You know, what you are, you radiate that, and then you heal people without doing ever a thing. You just have to walk around and shine your light, you know, and that already heals people. If you call yourself a healer, you know, you want to be recognized as a healer, which means you are not one. Because the real healers never call themselves healers. The real shamans never call themselves shamans, you know. It's just other people that say you're a shaman. And that's when I would say, you know, it's like what in Carlos Castaneda, you know, it's more about what does he say again? I'm a sorcerer, right? Don Juan, he says I'm a sorcerer because he recognizes the fact that he can manipulate energy and he can read energy. He can read energy patterns and he can engage with spirits and stuff, right? Because that's how he sees the world. You know, I can relate to that because a sorcerer, you know, doesn't necessarily have to be involved in healing or anything. A sorcerer is just involved in energy manipulation. You know, and whether you are Disney, yeah, and you make sorcery by hypnotizing people into watching movies, yeah, and sitting on chairs, you can also do other kinds of sorcery. You know, you can create movies that actually enlighten people by giving them something that they can use to free themselves from all this shit that is out there on the internet. And so, yeah, I mean, it does make me a little angry. And so I don't go around calling myself a healer because I don't just heal. But surely talking about my anger and my frustration is a form of healing because there is anger inside of me. And so I'm getting that out. Yeah? Because it makes me angry. Because all the people that I find that give themselves all these names are all the people that were basically liars. You know, that were just pretending all the time. You know, and that specifically means now women that pretended, you know, they wanted to love me and be my wife. You know, and in the end I find them calling themselves healers or manifestors. That just says something about them. Because they weren't true about what they said. You know, they were just about words. And when I was in that place in the end, where I really, you know, I said, but we said we wanted to love each other. And I really wanted to, like, make that happen. And all they gave me for that was shit. Like, literally, all they gave me for that was shit. And now I find them online, giving themselves these names. I'm a healer. You know, I'm this, I'm that. You're nothing of that. Because you want to be that. You try to be greedy with that. You know? First, work yourself to the point where you are that. And when you've proven to the people that you are that, they will come to you. Yeah? They will come to you. And that's why I produce content, but I let it up to the people to like me. If I'm somewhere and a person approaches me, I talk to them. Sure, I do that. I do that. And if I have the feeling they're kind of interested in what I have to say and maybe they could work with my content, then I give them a little piece of paper where I wrote down my name and my homepage. And that's all there is to it. You know, the only advertisement I make is creating content, which I believe can heal people, you know, but only because the content that I create generates a space in which people can relax into. So I'm trying to deconfuse with confusion, yeah? So I'm creating confusing music in a sense, but there's a certain pattern to it. It's a certain predictability in my music. It's like done in waves and stuff. And at the same time, I give my insights. I give my experiences, I give my knowledge. And, right, this wasn't what I thought it was, but it turned out to be what it isn't. And that means, you know, I don't have to label it, but at a certain point, yeah, sure, I probably have to put a name on it just because it's going out into the internet. And that means that's just how it is. I mean, accept it, don't accept it, you know, it's a tough choice. Peace out.